We'll call this regular city council meeting to order on Monday, October 21st, 2019 at 7 p.m. Roll call, please.
Mrs. Horn? Present. Mr. Bateman?
Present.
Mr. Welch?
Present.
Mr. Parrott?
Present.
Mr. Downs?
Present.
Mr. Keller?
Present.
Mr. Holmes?
Present.
Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
First, we have a swearing in, Mr. Howard.
Officer Ward. Can you give this to John? Yes.
Thank you.
Okay. Please say aye, then your name, and then repeat after me.
I, Jason Rohr,
Having been appointed to the office of patrolman
have been appointed to the office of patrolman
in the city of Lincoln,
in the city of Lincoln,
in the county of Logan,
and the county of Logan,
do solemnly swear or affirm
do solemnly swear and affirm
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the state of Illinois,
and the Constitution of the state of Illinois,
and I will faithfully discharge
and I will faithfully discharge
the duties of the office
the duties of the office
of patrolman
of patrolman
to the best of my ability.
to the best of my ability.
Congratulations, sir.
Thank you.
Congratulations, Jason.
Full building.
Thank you. All right, and at this time, I'm going to turn it over to the fire chief.
I'm going to turn the microphone over to Lana Miller, and she's going to tell you guys why she's here.
That's not what you told me.
That's kind of exactly what I told you I was going to do.
Good evening. My name is Lana Miller, and this is Kelly Bogdanich. And we're here tonight with the family of Jake Lesson, with his wife Christy, son Matthew, and mother Andy Lesson, to help the Lincoln Fire Department. Jake Lesson was from Lincoln. He went to school at West Lincoln Broadwell, went to Lincoln Community High School. After graduation, went to the Air Force and became a firefighter. And after his stint in the Air Force, came back home and then ended up being a firefighter with the 183rd Fighter Wing at Capitol Airport in Springfield. After that, was a firefighter here in Lincoln, and then a firefighter in Springfield. Jake was not only a great firefighter, but just a great all-around guy. We love Jake, and he stood up for all of us in this community as just one of those people that you wanted to be around. So after Jake was killed in a motorcycle accident, Kelly and I sat around one night and thought, what are we going to do? We need to do something to honor Jake. So Jake loved to play golf, so we decided we would do a golf outing. So we knew nothing about running a golf outing, but we knew it was just going to be a good fun time. We had 160 golfers show up the first year. So over the course of that golf outing, we raised money for the Lincoln Land Community Scholarship that Christy had started for Jake. And over the course of that time, we've given over $30,000 to fire departments in Springfield and Lincoln and to his scholarship fund. So we had money left over, and we wanted to make sure that we did something to honor Jake in his own community and to give back to his community. So I talked with Chief and said, what could you use some money for? And he said, thermal imaging cameras for the fire trucks. So tonight we are here to give you a check for $8,700 for the purchase of however many cameras you can get for your trucks or whatever you need.
Under participation, we have Vicki Burnett. Welcome, have a seat.
Hello. Hello. My name is Vicki Burnett. I am the Director of Development for the Debbie D. Boyce Council. We serve 14 counties in Illinois, including Lincoln. And we are having the first ever Founders Patrol Breakfast. It's on Tuesday. This is the flyer. And there's more right there if you want to take one with you. Tuesday, November 12th from 7 to 8:15 a.m. It's at the Lincoln College Student Dining Services. And we are so thrilled that our team consists of Lynn Laughlin, Mayor Seth Goodman, Kirby Rogers, Isabel Vidal, and Zach Flanders. Our MC for the evening is your very own Alderman, Ron Keller. And this is a free breakfast. Everyone is welcome. All are welcome. We ask if it's possible for you to pledge a donation at that time to help support local area scouts. That's where the money goes. 100% of the money goes to serve local area scouts. Our keynote speaker for the evening is President of Lincoln College, David Gerlach, and our scout speaker is your very own David Morrow from Troop 1102. I just wanted to encourage everyone to please attend this breakfast and help us meet our goals for the year. There's a lot of work that goes into this, and my card and some additional flyers are there. If anyone has any questions, you can email or call me. My cell phone is on that card. And I thank you for allowing me to speak to you this evening. I'm very honored. Any questions?
Anyone have any questions?
Terrific.
Very much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Do we have anyone else who would like to speak in the participation? Okay. Moving down to the consent agenda, we have the payment of bills, approval of minutes, October 7th, 2019 public hearing, October 7th, 2019 regular city council meeting, the request from Don and Jan Seeloff to close the 200 block of 10th Street from Chestnut Street to Union Street for a Halloween block party on Thursday, October 31st, 2019 from 4:30 to 8 p.m. Approval of trick-or-treat hours on Thursday, October 31st, 2019 from 5 to 8 p.m. Request from the Logan County Tourism Bureau to close various city streets on Thursday, December 5th, 2019 for the annual Christmas parade from 6:30 p.m. until its conclusion. Approval of city council meeting scheduled for the 2020 calendar year, as well as the approval of city holidays to be observed in the 2020 calendar year.
Move to approve.
Second.
Mr. Keller made the motion, Mr. Welch seconded. Discussion? Roll call, please.
Mr. Welch?
Yes.
Mr. Parrott?
Yes.
Mr. Downs?
Yes.
Mr. Keller?
Yes.
Mr. Haneke?
Yes.
Mrs. Horn? Yes. Mr. Bateman?
Yes.
Under ordinances resolution, we have the ordinance authorizing real estate on Pekin Street to go out to bid.
Motion approved.
Second.
Mr. Welch made the motion, Mr. Parrott seconded. Discussion? Roll call, please.
Mr. Parrott?
Yes.
Mr. Downs?
Yes.
Mr. Keller?
Yes.
Mr. Haneke?
Yes.
Mrs. Horn? Yes. Mr. Bateman?
Yes.
Mr. Welch?
Yes.
Resolution granting signature authority to Assistant Fire Chief Ben Rowland as President of the Lincoln Firefighters Pension Board.
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Parrott made the motion, Alderman Horn seconded. Discussion? Roll call, please.
Mrs. Horn? Yes. Mr. Bateman?
Yes.
Mr. Welch?
Yes.
Mr. Parrott?
Yes.
Mr. Downs?
Yes.
Mr. Keller?
Yes.
Mr. Haneke?
Yes.
Resolution granting signature authority for the mayor to sign various documents for the IEPA Water Pollution Control Loan Program.
Move to approve.
Second.
Beth made the motion, Kathy seconded. Discussion? Roll call, please.
Mrs. Horn? Yes. Mr. Bateman?
Yes.
Mr. Welch?
Yes.
Mr. Parrott?
Yes.
Mr. Downs?
Yes.
Mr. Keller?
Yes.
Mr. Haneke?
Yes.
The reports, Mr. Condo.
Thank you, Mayor. You've all received copies, most of you received copies of the treasurer's report, as we usually do, and a couple of you have received them electronically. Well, it's interesting to note we are in a very similar position with our general fund. where we were a year ago at this time. Keep in mind, one of the reasons that we're in a better position than we often are other times of the year is we've been receiving timely distributions of the property tax from the county treasurer. There's one more distribution remaining, and that'll be in November, and that's generally smaller than the previous ones. But we'll see how that shapes up here. We'll know in about 3 or 4 weeks. I do want to point out there are a number of payments due, some bond payments due December 1st, and that will reduce the balances in these. We have sewer bond payment, we have the TIF bond payment due, and then the general obligation bond as well, and the bond for the construction or the rehabilitation of the building that now serves as our police station. So those bond payments are due December 1st, and since they all come due at the same time, that's, it's going to reduce those balances. Nothing to be concerned about. It's, we're in a good position, but it'll be reflected when we get to the November. At the end of November, you'll see a decrease in those funds as a result of that. Looking at the non-home rule sales tax, municipal sales tax, state use tax, you'll see I've included some tables here that, as I often do with these reports, that show where we are year to date and also where we are in comparison to previous months and previous years. And you see the municipal sales tax, a nice increase there of about $5,000 from the previous year, from June month of liability, which we received during the month of September, and an increase of about $5,000 in that, which we'd like to see. Non-home rule sales tax increase of about $1,000. Typically, that will follow whatever trend you see with the sales tax and the state use tax. Non-home rule sales tax follow that same pattern. This is no exception. Increase there of just a few $100s, but still comparable to the size of that fund. And then the motor fuel tax, and I'd like to talk a little bit about this. You'll notice a little change in the format of this report. As you know, the state legislature authorized doubling of the gasoline tax effective July 1st. And those receipts would have been collected by the state of Illinois August 1st, and then forwarded to the municipalities and the counties beginning with the September distribution. So it's the August month of liability when the retailers would have forwarded that money to the state for gasoline sold during the month of July. And we, as I said, received that during September. Now, what I've done is I've broken that down, and the state breaks this down when they distribute it to us. So instead of sending it in one check, they send it in two, which shows what your receipt would normally have been with the 19-cent a gallon tax, and then that extra amount is the amount that we're receiving as a result of the increase in that tax. And there's different formula for distributing that, or the way that's divided up as well. And you see for this very first month, the month of August, with $26,000, $26,619, and then the extra distribution that came about as a result of the increase in the motor fuel tax, $21,612, which gives us over $42,000, as opposed to a year ago where it was $31,705. When you look at that, you say, well, we're a lot more money as a result of that. But if you look at that base amount, at $26,619, as opposed to a year ago, $31,705, which means that during the month of August in the state of, or the month of July in the state of Illinois, they sold that much. They sold less gallons, fewer gallons of gasoline. This tax, as I've said several times, is based on not on the price of the gasoline, it's based on the number of gallons. It's a per gallon tax. So, and then we receive a proportion of that, which is in direct proportion to our percentage of population of the state of Illinois. So it should be, and it's all based on the same census, the 2010 census. So if you're pumping the same amount of gas statewide, the amount of the sales tax, or the motor fuel tax, excuse me, that base amount there would be the same as it was a year ago. It's not, it's down by 5,000, which would indicate that, definitely indicates that they're pumping less gasoline on a statewide basis. The downside of that, of course, is it's less travel, probably less money to spend on other things as well. So, it's great that we got another 21,000 as a result of this tax, but in the long run, that may not be a good indicator, because it indicates people are going to have less money to spend buying gasoline, they'll use less gasoline, do fewer things, shop less tourism, all the rest of the things that accompany that. So this is only 1 month. It does not indicate a trend. It may. Some of these things, you'll see a downturn when that sticker shock first hits, and then it'll come back up. We don't know what's going to happen, but at least this first month, where the state has collected this tax, would indicate that downward trend in the consumption and use of gasoline. And finally, the last one I have, there's utility tax receipts, and that follows the trend that I told you about last month when we talked about this. It's off about 10,000 from last year, and I personally think that a good bit of the reason for that is the loss of some of the businesses they used a lot of electricity and a lot of gas, and particularly the bottle factory and Kroger store, and several other things too. We have Alexander Lumber and some others that are smaller in scale, but still contributed to that overall total. So we'll see what happens. Hopefully we'll see more businesses open up. We have seen a few, and I hope that we'll continue to see that happen. That's all that I have.
Questions for Mr. Condo? Okay. Thank you very much. Ms. Bateman?
In the month of September, the sewer receipts that was collected was the amount of $353,280.02. Once again, that we had not received any payment from the prison in the month of September.
Questions? Thank you very much. And then department reports either on file or will be shortly. Under new business and communications, we have the approval of mayoral proclamation to proclaim October 2019 as Down Syndrome Awareness Month.
Motion to approve. Second.
Mr. Welch made the motion, Mr. Keller seconded. Discussion? Roll call, please.
Mr. Keller?
Yes.
Mr. Haneke?
Yes.
Mrs. Horn?
Yes.
Mr. Bateman?
Yes.
Mr. Welch?
Yes.
Mr. Parrott?
Yes.
Mr. Downs?
Yes.
Approval of letters of support for the new Lincoln Economic Advancement and Development Incorporated organization.
Move to approve.
Second.
Kathy made the motion, Jeff seconded. Discussion? Roll call, please.
Mr. Haneke?
Yes.
Mrs. Horn?
Yes.
Mr. Bateman?
Yes.
Mr. Welch?
Yes.
Mr. Parrott?
Yes.
Mr. Downs?
Yes.
Mr. Keller?
Yes.
Advising consent to the mayoral appointment of City Treasurer Chuck Conzo, Fire Inspector Tim Aper, and Streets and Alleys Laborer Billy Gandolfi to the City Employees Management Insurance Advisory Committee.
So moved. Second.
Steve made the motion and Tracy seconded. Discussion? Roll call, please.
Mr. Welch?
Yes.
Mr. Parrott?
Yes.
Mr. Downs?
Yes.
Mr. Keller?
Yes.
Mr. Haneke?
Yes.
Mrs. Horn?
Yes.
Mr. Bateman?
Yes.
Approval of pay request with change orders for completion of the Jefferson Street project in an amount not to exceed $220,890.38.
Move to approve.
Second.
Jeff made the motion and Kathy seconded. Discussion? Kevin?
What was the overages from the original estimate?
Chuck? Was it 9,000 you said?
9,000 plus, yeah, I believe.
Yeah, but I think it was about half as much on the, because wasn't there some type of savings somewhere?
Yeah, they cut it back.
About 4,000 or so?
So I'm assuming this overage is due to the water severe water problem they hit while digging. I think that's what it was.
Yes.
They also hit some on for previous structures that were not known that were there. So.
Is there a question or discussion? Roll call, please.
Mrs. Horn?
Yes.
Mr. Bateman?
Yes.
Mr. Welch?
Yes.
Mr. Parrott?
Yes.
Mr. Downs?
Yes.
Mr. Keller?
Yes.
Mr. Haneke?
Yes.
Approval of request for proposal for the installation of solar panels for the City of Lincoln wastewater treatment plant.
Motion to approve.
Second
for discussion.
Do we have a second?
Second.
Kevin made the motion, Sam seconded. Kevin?
So to clarify, this is not a motion to install solar panels. This is a motion to go out for a proposal. It has nothing to do with installation. We have no idea what the bids are yet. We don't know what the costs are. We changed the proposal for years, what the city could buy back. So this is just an information gathering vote. So I don't know if we need to change the wording, but it actually, several of us thought it had already gone out for bid, including myself and the sewer treatment plant people, so, and the solar companies. So this is a vote to go out for proposal, not installing.
The wording's a little odd. The wording is a little odd.
Well, and also the RFP schedule is not accurate now. Because it says the RFP released 9/17. Well, obviously we're past that. So.
Yeah.
We did make a verbal amendment to that. Just
Yeah.
crossed it out.
But we can't vote on a verbal amendment, right?
Well,
I mean, we're voting on the document that's in our packet, is that correct?
right. They were supposed to give us a new date on there, but we had crossed out, and I put my initials and the date by it, and they were supposed to give us a new one, but I think they just slipped that. They did it here.
I can have an updated one for you tomorrow.
Appropriate to table it.
You see my name plan.
I think Sean said that whatever the date was gonna be, you know, they could easily change those dates,
Yeah,
but
that is correct.
I just wanted to clarify, because I thought last month we voted to go out for proposal, and then a company contacted me, and you know,
I think we
several
voted on-
things have gone back and forth, and I'm like, now all of a sudden it's to install. We never even went out for proposal yet.
I think it was that we agreed to write a proposal, but we hadn't seen the proposal at the time. So I think we're just voting on that proposal.
Right. Voting on the proposal itself, but not the release of it?
I don't know who put that agenda together, but it's not right. It's a proposal for, to let bids, you know, go out for proposals, not to install it.
I think that's why we were a little hesitant to
Right.
even make a motion on it.
I think this needs to be tabled.
Agreed.
So you'll send an updated one?
Yeah.
Okay.
Do we know what the date should be now then?
So then we'll have to, when they come back on the next COW with this, they'll have to have the updated RFP schedule, which will give us those dates. My fear is voting on a document and someone coming and looking at our packet as the reference source and having inaccurate information in there.
Kevin?
So, quite technically, you know, just so I can keep the people that are contacting me informed, because
because the 2 or 3 companies that are wanting to bid, they're waiting on the website saying, okay, there's still nothing, there's still nothing, there's still nothing. So we wouldn't be voting to go out for a proposal till November 4th, correct?
Correct.
So whatever dates we finally get into this document that's been bounced around forever, let's make sure that the dates are at least a week after that voting in case it gets tabled again. So we're not down this road again, because several of us thought we should be opening the proposals by now. I don't know where the confusion went, but we sat here and discussed it, and Sean was here that night, and then next thing I know, the proposals didn't go out, and this showed up on the cow. So let's make sure we get the dates set far enough back so that there's no more confusion. And again, it's just a proposal. There's no set in stone about solar panels at the sewage treatment plant. We just need to know what we're dealing with first before we make any decisions.
Thank you, Mayor. Alderman Bateman, I think the reason that it didn't go out is nobody put it on the agenda last time. It was talked about in the previous council workshop meeting at length, but nobody put it on the agenda for the last voting meeting. So then we had a council workshop last week, and somebody did. Somebody put it on the agenda for this week, but apparently the document is not accurate yet. But that's how we ended up with the first delay.
So then, those who made motion need to withdraw their motions.
Sam and Kevin.
I'll withdraw my main motion.
We're gonna table this?
Yes.
Great.
I'll make a motion to table item 980, solar panel.
Second.
Jeff made a motion, Tracy seconded.
So what's going on next?
It's going on next week's cow. If there's any discussion or changes to the proposal document, we should have a proposal document to look at at next week's cow and vote on it on the 4th.
So the proposal will be emailed out tomorrow.
Yeah.
And then it can be circulated, and if you guys have questions beforehand, I would say to reply. That way we can get it out on the agenda correctly. Okay. So will you send that to Beth and I and Peggy, and we can disperse it to the council? Okay. Very good. Roll call, please.
Mr. Welch?
Yes.
Mr. Parrott?
Yes.
Mr. Downs?
Yes.
Mr. Keller?
Yes.
Mr. Haneke?
Yes.
Mrs. Horn?
Yes.
Mr. Bateman?
Yes.
Your announcements? Let's have a couple of quick ones. First off, I'd like to thank all the businesses and people that helped with Trick or Treat with the Mayor. There was a good turnout, good media coverage, so thank you everybody for that. And then Chiefs, did you want to say something about the event? I know it seemed to go really well at the safety complex.
Yeah, the sheriff's event, there was a lot of people came, I believe a lot of them came from the actual mayor's event and kind of floated over there, which is great. A lot of that was for kids, and they enjoyed the canine demonstration and the drone demonstration by Officer Grumman, so I think that went well. Of course, we had all the fire trucks and maintenance stuff out there, so I think it was a good event for that also.
Kevin?
On that note, obviously Peggy and I were out of town, but Tracy Bergen from New Herald News had probably one of the most well-timed and amazing pictures. It's on her Facebook page. The helicopter looks like it's literally sitting on top of City Hall just outside the phone booth. And she put the caption, "Anybody got a dime?" If you can see it, I mean, it's amazing. The helicopter looks like it's sitting on top of City Hall.
Do we have any other announcements? Beth?
No, Comcast. I did want to mention that I did hand this out. I finished this today. This is just updated as of today, the Fifth Street Road project, and this is confidential as these transactions are still going on.
And if you didn't get one, let me know. I was going to email it to you, but it's on a long piece of paper, and I don't think you'll be able to print it out very well. Thank you.
Further now, oh, Nyla.
Well, seeing as how you're not going to say anything, there will be a ribbon cut next Monday morning at 9 o'clock. 602 Keokuk, 3 businesses in one, including that belonging to Mayor Goodman. So everybody's invited.
Thank you. It's Serenity Now Massage, Headline Salon, and B-Realty. At 9 a.m. 9 a.m. a week from Monday. A week from today, sorry.
Cheeseburgers?
There'll be donuts and cookies, but no cheeseburgers, so I can't compete with that. Can't compete with that. Do we have other announcements? Do we have a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
Second. Mr. Welch made the motion, Mr. Keller seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Meeting is adjourned at 7:31. Thank you.
Can you help me out with the names of those ladies who left over?